What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Gakis, and today we're going to be showcasing the massive changes going live today in Destiny 2 with update 9.1.5. And so, let's get started. Now, I didn't expect to be making this video today. Hey, thank God I showered. First time for everything. But seriously, I thought I would be hopping in right at reset for the new exotic mission that's also going live today. However, Steam is being DDoSed, and no one can log on. Yeah, on top of that, Bungie just tweeted that Destiny 2 maintenance has been extended by at least another hour. So instead of sitting around, let's go over some patch notes. A lot of this stuff I have already covered in previous TWAB videos. Some stuff is new, but it's interesting to see everything changing today with this update. So, first off, with general changes, the Kepler's Altar of Relativity now focuses engrams all the way up to 450 power. That's kind of a big deal. Previously, it was only 200. So if you like Kepler gear, especially the armor, like focusing that up and up and up to 450 is pretty good. Also, exotic focusing at Renewal will now award gear at your power level. No more getting engrams and always having those exotic engrams being 200. Exotic focusing at 801 is no longer capped at 200 power either. Again, this is all going to help with the unstable chorus currency. Fix an issue where holofoil weapon visuals crash things. Issue Devrim will no longer show his reputation, and fix an issue campaign blah blah blah. Now, I'm not going to go over a lot of the technical like bug fixes. So new exotic mission launches. Does it though? Can't log on to the game right now. And it talks about the first run, you're going to go and get the exotic, and on subsequent runs, it's going to be added into the portal with portal modifiers. Still going to be very interesting today to see like what an exotic mission designed from the ground up to be a portal activity is actually going to like look like. Speaking of the portal, some changes to the portal. So, the following Fireteam Ops activities are now Pinnacle Ops. So, both of the Onslaughts, the Coil, and Contest of Elders. What does that mean? Well, it means that if you're grinding those activities, you're going to be able to get things like the Mint Retrograde, which are exclusive to Pinnacle Ops, guys. Moving on from there, they've increased the frequency with which the Deluge Accelerator will drop energy wells. That was like one of the special portal event modifiers. It didn't drop them very often. In the Encore Pinnacle Op, oh boy, the door to the final boss arena will open up without needing to wait for the dialogue to interact. That means Encore just got significantly faster, actually. They fixed an issue where you couldn't revive and reclaim, fix an issue. All the rest of this is just going to be bug fixes. Then for Desert Perpetual, fixed issue where players who completed the Atlas and Almanac quest, okay, another just bug fix. Trials of Osiris, fixed issue preventing players from being able to change their glows, just fixing issues. Competitive, added the new Ascendant emblem. This emblem can be claimed at Shaxx if you have been ranked Ascendant 3 or higher at any point in the season. Fix an issue where the slow capture for collision, so just a bug fix there. General, fix an issue. All right, here's where things get really juicy. So the Titan Stronghold has been reverted. So Bungie changed it completely. Maybe you saw my infinite, like unkillable Stronghold Titan build based on the old Strongholds where you could just block indefinitely and you really were unkillable with flash counter and stuff. It was crazy. That was technically nerfed to the ground because Bungie completely changed how the Stronghold works. People were mad about this because they framed it as a buff, but it was kind of more of a nerf. Now it's back to normal, all right? So if you like running that build, today it should be viable once again. Then the new Titan Exotic Gauntlets that will withdraw your hammer. Fixed issue where Forge Master melee regen was remaining active even after switching off of Throwing Hammer. Then for the weapons tuning. So specifically, they just buffed the Finite Impactor. So if you got a half-decent Finite Impactor from Iron Banner, it's just straight up better. Like it has just way better stats. That's kind of interesting. As for Spread Shot hand cannons, they're nerfing it. Right, so they've actually increased the damage versus combatants from 8 to 15% to counteract for this PvP nerf, but like range is down, spread is up, recoil is up quite a bit, handling is down. A lot of people are saying this isn't good enough. This will still be extremely meta, but just note your spread shot hand cannon is worse today, especially in PvP. Then for sidearms, they've reduced the base damage for sidearms again to address PvP guys, specifically again heavy burst archetype. Then for exotic weapons, Hierarchy of Needs, which is the exotic bow, they fixed an issue where the catalyst was not improving draw time and reload speed when striking a target. So technically, Hierarchy with the catalyst is now better. Then weapon fixes, just a random off-center sight here. Then general fixes, fix an issue where bolt charge would not be displayed with glaive melee. Passive traits, this is where things get real juicy. Passive traits are insane. So, this is going to be like similar to a lot of other RPGs out there where like you have different classes. Think Oblivion and Skyrim and stuff, where you have like these different classes, maybe not Skyrim, but different classes have these passive bonuses, passive traits that are active all the time that will influence build crafting and so on. For the Hunter, they've increased the default sprint speed from 8 meters per second to 8.6 meters per second. The Hunter's passive non-sprinting movement speed bonus increased from old tier 4 mobility to old tier 10 mobility. In PvP, this bonus is the equivalent of old tier 7. Then Hunters now have a 10% bonus to weapon equip speed, and in PvP, that is halved. So just faster movement passively, like actually quite a bit with the Hunters and equip speed. So definitely, again, this is going to solidify them as kind of the PvP choice in terms of your class, because that's where those changes are really going to be noticeable and are going to matter. Now, for the Warlock passive, they now have an innate 10% bonus to passive grenade energy regeneration. So you just get your grenades 10% faster off, like no matter what, by playing Warlock. And they have a 5% additive bonus to grenade damage, but it's halved in PvP. Again, that's pretty big. So yesterday I posted a video on the Controverse Hold Warlock, right? Like that Controverse Hold exotic got buffed, and so that build is doing really well right now. So starting today, you just get 10% faster regen and 5% more damage. That's pretty good. Like, and again, this is gonna, like Warlocks, you already have the Starfire Protocol build, so you're gonna start to see like Warlocks solidify itself as like the Grenadier class for those style of builds. Now for the Titan guys, unarmed, so I think that's like uncharged melee, deals 20% increased damage against PvE combatants. Damage increase is 5% against PvP combatants. Towering and Rally Barricade taunt PvE combatants in front of the barricade. So note, Titan passive trait bonuses have been live since October 8, 2024. So that's kind of crazy. This whole time, Titans just had stronger melees to give them an identity, and Bungie was like, all right, like if Titans, and again, it goes into what I'm saying, Titans are like the melee class, and that's true, we kind of all know this, but now it's like giving the identities to Warlock and Hunter. Definitely interesting, like really gonna be interesting to see like if they start adding more passive bonuses, if they make each class even more distinct, or if it's just going to be kind of this stuff. But this is important to know, certainly when picking what class to play and creating builds. Moving on from there, some changes for the Hunter here. Marksman's Dodge. It now picks up nearby ammo bricks on activation, and it reloads all weapons on activation. That's pretty good. For Strand, the Suspending Slam aspect no longer increases cooldown duration after use. Suspending enemies with Suspending Slam now gives Woven Mail. Say Wallabra is going to be absolutely cooking with this, dude. But yeah, that's a ginormous buff right there. Like, that is crazy good. The duration scales with the number of enemies suspended. And Threaded Spectre, that aspect, they've increased the fragment slots from 2 to 3. So that's a big buff there too. So yeah, Strand Hunter's eating good today. Now for Solar Hunters, the On Your Mark aspect. So stacks of On Your Mark now give straight up weapon stat, and you get up to 50 weapons at 10 stacks. It still grants the previous reload speed benefit. They've rescaled the stack count to a max of 10 stacks. Precision hits now give 1 stack, and precision final blows give 2 stacks. Final blows at 2 stacks cure you. That's crazy. Precision final blows at 10 stacks no longer give radiant. So yeah, you're losing radiant. Hiccup with the cam there, I guess. You are gaining cure every kill as soon as you get 2 stacks. So you'll have to have 1 precision final blow to start this chain, and then you're going to be healing after every kill, and you get up to 50 weapon. This is a pretty crazy change here. Now the Deadshot super now refunds ammo on Golden Gun final blows instead of on ignitions. So it's going to be way easier to chain Golden Gun kills like over and over and over again. Now extends super duration on Golden Gun final blows. So this is much more of a roaming super now. Like Deadshot is again a roaming super. You're going to be getting your ammo back and extending the super every single final blow. Could go crazy in PvE actually if you're just slaying out on enemies. For Stasis, the Grim Harvest aspect no longer has the Stasis Shard creation cooldown, so you're going to be able to pop off with Stasis Shards and create like 100 of them. The Arc Combination Final Blow fixed an issue where Combination Blow wasn't consistently activating, as if that needed to be any better. For Prismatic, the Gunpowder Gamble aspect fixed an issue where Final Blows with non-super weapons were not granting Gunpowder Gamble stacks. Stylish Executioner fixed an issue where Threaded Spike and Withering Blade would not apply weaken after activating this aspect. So yeah, that just got a lot better actually. Especially Threaded Spike is such a good melee with a Prismatic Hunter. Then for the Warlock guys, big changes here. All of the constructs now count as grenades for stats and perks. So Ionic Sentry, Arc Soul, Hellion, Bleak Watcher, Child of the Old Gods, which means your Hellion, right? If we go back to the passive, your Hellion now has 5% bonus damage. Just not by doing anything. You haven't changed a single thing. But also, again, if you have 200 grenade, that's 65% more Hellion damage, more Arc Soul damage, more Sentry damage. Like, all of that is actually crazy for build crafting. This is one of the biggest changes from a build crafting perspective. All of these just got way better because you can now spec into the grenade stat and really improve these. So, for Void, Chaos Accelerant, it now grants 2 grenade charges. That build I made yesterday, oh my god, dude. So for Scatter Grenade, Charged Grenade now creates 4 more Seekers. Increased Charged Seeker by damage, increase that. Action Bolt, Charged Seeker now detonates twice. Increased projectile damage, reduce projectile speed, tracking players. Vortex Grenade, here's the interesting one. Charged Grenade Vortex now repeatedly pulls enemies into it. So, even better. Cinema! Dude, this is cinema. So, again, guys, you got to go watch that video because, like, this is a massive improvement. You get two Vortex Grenades. Like, it's just straight up overpowered now. That's crazy. And all these other grenades are going to turn into handheld Supernova. For Stasis, Glacial Harvest, again, the change to this aspect, remove the Stasis Shard creation and PvE will be released later. But again, similar to the Hunter, where you're going to be able to make a bajillion shards. Strand, Weave Walk, you just get Woven Mail. In a previous buff, they've tuned the movement on Weave Walk, enter, and exit. Pocket Singularity Melee, they fixed an issue where sliding could do whatever. Then for the Titan guys, so Shiver Strike for Stasis, both Stasis and Prismatic versions. Whiffed attack now returns flat 80% energy in PvE and 40% in PvP. Howl of the Storm grants 2 melee charges. That's very interesting. And charged Stasis crystals now spawn in spawn pattern and added 4 more crystals. now slows enemy players instead of freezing them, however, to account for 4 more crystals is crazy. Cryoclasm aspect, increased fragment slots from 2 to 3, reduced the long slide cooldown from 4 seconds to 2 seconds, and the tectonic harvest aspect, the stasis shard creation no longer has a cooldown in PvE, just like they're doing that with all 3 classes. All the aspects that create stasis shards are just going to be absolutely smashing out shards. Then for Void, for Unbreakable, they keep buffing this thing because no one uses it. Reduced grenade energy drain speed while holding the shield. A reduced forward movement slowdown when the shield is hit by an attack. Increase the fragment slots from 2 to 3. And Blast now disorients enemies for a short time. So maybe it's time to try Unbreakable because that is a lot of buffs. The Bastion aspect no longer increases cooldown time in PvE. Thank goodness, dude. Bastion is so good, dude. Just having overshield for your barricade, which can charge extremely fast. Very, very good. Now, moving on from there. Ammo system. For Crucible, increased special ammo gains at no or low investment by 33%. So if you have 0 investment into, I believe, the weapon stat, 33% more spawning for your ammo. Shooting range, ammo generation is now enabled for combatants. The shooting range, some UI changes, some quest changes. Just going to kind of show these here, not necessarily going to go over these. Iron Brilliance has been renamed to the Iron Forge and all this other stuff. Guys, all right, so that is the changes, and again, like, we got some pretty big buffs here to all the classes. Mainly, the big winner here is the Warlock. This is crazy. You got it. If you ain't running the Conjure's whole build, now's the time. That's crazy. But again, the construct changes. On top of that, you have the passive Warlock with grenade investments just became way better. Every single Grenadier Warlock build you have just became so much better. So guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this interesting. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus, as linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.